The students acquire a great many things in this change of role that they experience in our third-year curriculum. First and foremost, they acquire modes of thinking about how lawyers do their work. They attach studying the law to solving clients' problems. And so they're not studying law in isolation. They understand the relationship between client needs and facts and the law itself. So they begin to process law in the way that lawyers process law, and they acquire that ability. They also acquire, aside from the concrete skills or knowledge that they acquire, which is significant, they acquire professional habits. They acquire professional styles, if you will. So they often have to deal with the lawyers and teachers that are supervising their work in these courses as they're supervising lawyers, which is essentially the role that's being played by the instructors. And there are things that they have to deal with. So as might happen in practice if you were a beginning associate or even if you were working in a small firm, perhaps two different supervisors have given you important projects, weighty projects, and they're due on essentially the same day. So a young professional needs to learn how to go to one or the other of those two supervisors and to say, I want to do the best work I can for you. I've got two assignments due on the same day, but I want to do them both extremely well. If I could have an additional 48 hours to do your assignment, I could do the kind of work that I think you'd be pleased with. Is that possible? Is it possible for me to give you that assignment 2 days later? Will it do any harm to the client? And if not, let's negotiate about how we're going to work my workload. Students don't know how to do that, quite frankly, and they don't really think in those terms. But as students go through these courses and they have multiple supervisors in the different courses, they begin to acquire these kinds of habits. We had a student just last semester who was working in one of our practicum courses, and in that practicum course, as many of our practicum teachers do, they had the students work in teams, and they had the students give a peer review report and a self-review report after every major assignment came in. So last semester, this student was working on a team to do what was going to be the last major assignment of the course, and she wrote to the supervisor and said, I won't be turning in a peer review on this last assignment because my partner had a family emergency. His father grew ill. My partner had to rush back to his home in North Carolina, and I assured my partner that I would take care of this assignment and that he should attend to his family and not worry about this work. So I can't review him because he didn't do anything. And furthermore, she said, I don't think you should dock him in any way because he was gone. I told him that was the right thing for him to do. And as his teammate, I took care of what needed to be done. And she said, finally, I don't think I should get any extra credit for it either, because I just did what we're supposed to do if we work as a team. And when it arose that he couldn't be here for a very good reason, I just did what I was supposed to do. Students don't do that sort of thing. Lawyers do that sort of thing, or the best lawyers do that sort of thing. And these are the kinds of things that we relish in when we see students begin to pick up these habits of work, habits of working as a team, professional attributes, really. And so they acquire a great deal from this transition period that they have from student to lawyer. And they get to acquire all of these new things as a beginning lawyer still in the comfort of a law school, where at least in the simulations, mistakes made on client matters are simulated mistakes, and they don't in fact hurt anybody's future, or they don't in fact harm a client's legal rights. The students can learn from the mistakes. They can be counseled about what they did wrong, and they can grow.